Recycling is truly a broken system. It relies on the consumer to break apart purchased items into their core pieces like aluminum, plastic, glass, and cardboard in order for them to actually be recycled. Why should that be our responsibility? I want you guys to keep in mind the 6 R's of recycling. The 6 R's of reducing your impact. We have rethink. Truly think about, do you need this item? Refuse. If you don't need that item, don't get it. Reduce. If you absolutely need to get an item, try to get as few of it as possible, or get the biggest version of that item so you're reducing the amount of teeny pieces of plastic that come with it. Reuse. If you do have to buy a piece of plastic, make sure that you are turning it into something else afterwards, if you can. Recycle. This is one of the last ones because it is truly not a viable option for a clean future. Rot. Rot is any piece of plastic or any item that cannot be recycled. It goes straight to the landfill. When something goes in the trash, that doesn't mean it disappears from your life. It stays on this planet for thousands of years. Plastic actually degrades into microplastics that infect our environment and our drinking water, smaller than bacteria. Plastic is not just a harm to our environment, it's also a harm to our health. Plastic, whether neutral or worse when heated, actually leaches chemicals into our bodies and foods, which can completely change our hormones and our chemistry in our body. And I bet you if you just look to your right or your left, you'll see at least one piece of plastic. Imagine this secret disease constantly around you, surrounding your life. Doesn't that make you sick? The best way to lower your impact is to try to use as little plastic as you accessibly can. The consumer is powerful. The more that we demand and reach out and say something to these companies about the products that we want, the materials we want to see, the more change will come. And if you really are not happy with the way that these unsustainable companies are running our systems, try to support local companies or sustainable businesses that you know of. Buy from them instead. To know if something is recyclable, you want to look for the iconic recycling triangle. It will typically have either a number or some letters within it. So you really want to make sure with every piece of plastic that you find, you are looking at the number in the triangle. You cannot assume what it's going to be because it's honestly always something different. If you send this piece of recycling to the recycling facility dirty, they have to sort through it and throw it away. To not let that happen, we must rinse out all of the debris from our recycling. You cannot put your recyclings in the recycling bin while they are wet. They have to be dry before you can put them in the recycling bin. Because if you put them in the recycling bin wet, they can create mold, which also damages the recycling. This one has a 1 PET. This correlates to each other. Ones are always PETs. This is the most commonly recycled plastic. This can be recycled in any community that takes recycling. The bottom of this container, though, is a 5 PP. This recycling, I know, is accepted in New York, but it is not accepted in our recycling bins in New Jersey. What I do with 5s is I bring them to Whole Foods, actually. They have a Give Me 5 program. So this one is a number 2. This is also one of the most commonly recycled plastics. This is generally accepted in all of the recycling facilities across America. A lot of recycling will actually be really helpful and include a little recycling guide. This one says empty and replace cap, which means you empty this out, rinse it, and put the cap back on. And then you recycle the whole thing. This cling wrap is a number 3. they are never recycled and never labeled, so just consider that trash. I know we all have one of these. Yours may look different. It may be a plastic bag within a plastic bag within a plastic bag within a plastic. Yes, we get it. Plastic bags are considered a number 4. They are an LDPE. These can actually be recycled at any major retailer or grocery store. They have those bins right in the front at like Target, Walmart, Best Buy, etc. Any business that has over 50 locations is legally required to recycle plastic bags. Not all number 4s are actually going to be plastic bags. This number 4 is actually a container top. This actually has to be put in the trash because there is no system in place to accept this kind of thing. This Amazon packaging is also able to be recycled with your plastic bags along with bubble wrap. As you can see right here, they have this really helpful note about it being able to be store drop-off, but you must remove the label before bringing it to the store. I actually really like reusing the packages and boxes that I get from products that are sent to my house. Though I do not condone Amazon at all, I use my Earth Hero boxes for other recycling programs that have send-in options. I actually don't own any 6s or 7s, but if you do find a recycling symbol with a 6 or 7 within it, that is labeled as an other. And it basically doesn't matter because it is trash, so just throw that plastic away as well. If the number 7 is labeled as a PLA, that means it's a plant-based plastic, so it can biodegrade naturally back into the environment through industrial composting, like your other organics, veggie scraps and fruit peels, etc. If there are no numbers featured on a piece of plastic, you can consider that to be trash because it has no signifier, and that means that the recycling companies cannot sort it into the correct areas. Aluminum and glass are the easiest to recycle because they are made out of materials that are natural from our environment. If it is a broken piece of glass, please do not put it in your recycling bin because it is dangerous for our garbage people to be handling. When you do throw broken glass in the trash, make sure, broken glass in the trash, make sure that you are wrapping it in newspaper beforehand to protect our workers. Aluminum can be recycled indefinitely, which means it is one of the most sustainable options for purchasing products. But if we do not recycle aluminum, the creation of new aluminum is so resource depleting. Glass, aluminum, and plastic recycling is in the bag, and paper recycling must be tied up or put in a box separately. This is called a dual stream recycling system. It is a safer method of recycling because your cardboards won't get contaminated by any debris that may be left on any of the glass, aluminum, or plastics that are in the plastic bag. Let's talk about paper and cardboard recycling. You want to make sure that there are no pieces of food left inside of the cardboard. You also want to make sure that there are no grease stains like you would see on pizza boxes. If a piece of cardboard recycling is contaminated, you can rip off those pieces that have the grease on them and throw the greasy pieces away. The pieces that are clean can be put in with your cardboard recycling. When it comes to letters, the little plastic film is okay to be recycled. These little pieces of shredded paper cannot be recycled because they are just way too small. Sometimes cardboard can have a plastic layer on top of it. The issue with that is it cannot be recycled if there is a plastic coating. So you can recycle magazines. When you are recycling, you want to make sure you are breaking down your boxes. This is so necessary because you need to wrap all of these together. We actually found this in the dumpster, but you can use literally any kind of tie that can tie all of this together. Honestly, these things should be provided by our communities, but you know, whatever. Before you start placing your recyclings down, you want to unravel your recycling ribbon and place it underneath. You want to leave yourself enough of the wrap to wrap it perpendicularly. And wrap it as tight as possible. And now we're gonna go put this outside. Tonight is actually recycling night. So I'm putting my recycling out at the side of the house. Only 8% of all of the recycling is actually making it through this process and created into a new piece of plastic. This process for each piece of plastic can happen from 1 to 7 times max. In order to recycle plastic, you need to burn it. And in 2018, China decided to no longer accept recycling from America and Europe because their air pollution was so rampant. So, where do you think our recycling is going now? Comment below. So there's this really awesome program called TerraCycle. And they recycle literally anything, the non-recyclables. They can recycle even chewed gum. Gross, but awesome at the same time. A lot of businesses partner with TerraCycle to get these boxes that you fill up and send back to TerraCycle. These boxes cost a lot of money. They are actually pretty expensive. So you want to urge the local businesses near you to invest in that type of infrastructure. So Subaru is one of the companies that has partnered with TerraCycle to recycle coffee cups and lids, coffee creamer containers, tea bags and tea packaging, as well as snack bags and snack wrappers. But they do ask, as all recycling does, to rinse out your recycling beforehand. Because we do not use that much waste, it does not take up a huge amount of space in our recycling closet. So we like to save them anyways until such time that we can bring our items to Subaru. Using a Brita container and filter is one of the best ways to lower your impact. Brita is actually really awesome. They partner with TerraCycle to recycle all kinds of Brita products as well as non-Brita filters. All you need to do is go on TerraCycle's website and get a shipping label so that you can send yours to the Brita factory and they can reuse them for new Britas. We also collect recycling for electronics. So any kind of old wires or rechargeable lithium batteries are able to be recycled at Best Buy.
This is my cleaning slash recycling cabinet. This is my cardboard recycling. This is my snack bag slash snack wrapper recycling. This is my plastic bag recycling. These are my number 5s. This is my coffee cup slash tea bag slash coffee creamers recycling. This is my Brita recycling.
If you don't want to live this crazy ass lifestyle, try to start locally and convince your communities to ban plastic bags or ban plastic in general. We need to create a completely different system because the way that this is not working. We need to be moving towards an economy that actually values compost and compostable materials. As you can check out over here, I have a composter in my backyard. Most people really do not have this option, so it's important for us to get municipally funded compost, which means like a pickup program like you would do with your trash or recycling. We were able to get this compost bin at the Braddock Park Community Garden because we went to our Board of Commissioners meetings and we followed up when they expressed interest, and we made sure to get the funding through the township. So do your best to urge your council people to partner with organizations like Community Compost Co. to make public compost more accessible. The more compost we have in the world, the better our world will be. So we would really appreciate your support as well. Hey, thank you so much for watching. We would be really appreciative if you considered following our Instagram and subscribing to our YouTube channel, because we continue to put out content for you guys that helps each other, our world, and every single creature on it. And spend some time supporting the organizations in your local communities that will make composting and compostable materials more accessible. Thank you so much, and I hope to see y'all soon.